before being an attorney, I was a graphic artist. Still do it.
You the co-founder of EDN, right?
EDN, Entrepreneur Development
And
Network.
then what's the other one? What's the
Abundant Life Coaching.
like I thought I had it down.
What's your Wi-Fi signal?
Spaces.
Okay, do we put these on?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, Shouty. I don't know. I'm trying to fix the I'm trying to fix the you know this technology stuff is not my thing.
Hey,
I'm trying to get everybody in this thing. Can you help a
get
sister
everybody
out?
in it.
Hey, Siren got you then. Go ahead and live. Go live. She
I'm live.
Oh, okay.
You think we can put her phone up there?
We can.
We can get everybody in there?
Let's just get to this first.
Yeah, she got me. Yeah.
She jumping over it.
Jumping on fences. Yeah, sound got me.
Oh no, you good. Yeah, you in it.
All right, Christeria, you ready?
I am ready. I am ready.
You ready to do your test show?
Right.
You know, do your test show.
He been MIA, y'all. Talk about test show. He was supposed to test show me like 30 days ago.
Christeria Lynn, new show alert. Eddie, can you turn that big fan off on the red boy? They ready for you, ain't they?
I hope so. I hope so.
She jumping over that Eddie. He
Make
jumping.
sure they can hear you.
Can I?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, y'all.
3, 2, 1. You live on Facebook. You live everywhere.
I'm live.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I need you to cue to come in.
Oh,
Hola, 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 and good evening. It is Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn, your one and only. And it is a new day to have a great day. Today you are listening to Power 108.9, and I have two special guests here, and we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship and business law. And how many of y'all know that it's one thing to start a business, but it's a whole nother thing to maintain and protect that business? So today I have Mrs. Alina Edmondson. She is the co-founder of EDN Entrepreneur Development Network, and she is also the president and CEO of Abundant Life Coaching. She has an award-winning business. She has an award-winning business, multiple awards. She's an author and an awesome woman of God. We also have Mr. Cordell Rowley, who is a business attorney with the Cordell firm. And today he is going to educate us about business law and why it's so important. And we will be right back.
That was breasty.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I'm on Facebook Live. Can't they hear me?
Not if the mic ain't on.
Oh, really?
They getting all of this. They can hear all of this.
Oh, that's how that works.
Yeah, that's why the sound so clear. If not, it'll sound like you away from the microphone.
If y'all listen, why don't y'all drop y'all city and y'all state? Don't forget to like.
Listen to yourself in the mic.
Okay.
So just be conscious. So sometimes when you talk, you tend to do like this, and you notice how you can't hear me anymore.
Oh, so I gotta stay
So-
right here.
Yeah. Well, you can stay right there, but just make sure just move your eyes and not your
my mouth.
Yeah.
Oh,
We got
snap.
you. Yeah, we got you. We got you.
I need
Alright.
a headset.
You got on one.
No, like the
This is not a call center. This is not a call center. This is not. It's not Target or Home Depot. You are doing radio. You are grown up now. Okay.
I'm just saying I wanted to go with me. He always do.
Yes, I do. All right.
So when I come back,
Yeah, I'm gonna cue you in to come back. Just look at me. You'll hear the music play, and then when you see me do that, you just come back. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9. Got an awesome show for you today, or however you want to tease it. And you say we're today joined by blah blah blah, and then go into your interview. You got 10 minutes to talk. Okay.
okay.
Where you from again? Ohio, right?
Ohio.
That's Eddie right there.
What up, Eddie?
Listening. You hear him?
Mm-hmm.
You got 8 phones over there.
Right.
I brought my iPad too. Well, the kids' iPad. So I can try to go Instagram live.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, mic is on.
Welcome back. You are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9. And we have an exciting show for you. We are about to interview Alina Edmondson and Cordell Rowley. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You are so welcome. Thank you for taking the time to come. And today, I just really want to tune in and talking about entrepreneurship, what that looks like for you, what it should look like for other people. Have you managed to become so successful, and also the business law portion that goes along with entrepreneurship. So tell us something about you, Alina.
Well, first of all, my name is Alina Edmondson, and my husband and I, we started the Entrepreneur Development Network over 20 years ago, and our motto is learn, launch, run, and grow. So we sit you down for 12 weeks to write a comprehensive business plan, and then we walk with you on the launch pad to help you run successfully, and as you said, to sustain your business, and then, of course, if you want to grow and sell it.
Okay.
And also from that, I launched 10 years ago, I've launched the EDN Abundant Life Coaching because there was a disconnect, I believe, with a lot of our participants. We had a 75% success ratio of those who were in our class and running their business plans, of launching their business and being very successful, thousands of them. But then that 25% I really focused on, and what I found is that there was a disconnect on their belief.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I started a life coaching to help them connect to that dream that they have on the inside.
Okay, let's talk about that life coaching. And y'all, I want to say that I was one of Alina's first students back in the day.
Yes,
Sharice
2003.
and I,
Yes.
2003, and I took her entrepreneurship class, and y'all know the rest of the story. I've been an entrepreneur ever since. So, yeah, let's talk about that life coaching, and where did you see that disconnect in entrepreneurship?
The belief system. And because out of our beliefs comes our reality. Many people desire to be an entrepreneur, but they don't believe they have what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
And what my husband defines, I always say my husband because I'm married to an entrepreneur. He was the first African American to own and operate a Denny's franchise, go figure,
Yay.
in Detroit, Michigan. And so, but from that, he developed a definition for entrepreneurship, and that's I'd like to share that with your audience.
Yes.
We define entrepreneurship as the ability to add value to humanity with integrity and character
I love it.
while making a profit.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So now with regard to the bridge of the entrepreneur training and the life coaching, what I believe is that what we think, we create. What we feel, we attract. But what we imagine, we become. So what the life coaching does is help the individuals as they're writing their business plans, because the disconnect came, as you know, during week 10 when we talked about the financials, putting together that, cash flow projection, balance sheet, income statement. And so when they look at their startup finances and they see they have $250,000 or more to get started, okay, there was a disconnect. Where am I going to get this money? So many of them, or 25% of them, put that business on the shelf or the business plan on the shelf. And the coaching, again, helps them to, because you're thinking about your business processes, you're writing them down. If you can get in that space where you really believe it. So now I ask the audience, what is a belief? Because, we often say, we believe things. So what is a belief? A belief at its rarest form is simply a repeated thought. And many of our beliefs are not rooted in truth. They're based in fear. And we know the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. And so then I flip that acronym to face everything and rise.
That's right.
When you know who you are. So from that, I wrote a book titled, Who Are You Really? Rediscovering Your True Identity and Life Purpose. Because when you connect with who you really are, when you know that everything that you desire is within you, then you will begin to express that and it will manifest in your life experience.
Yes, that is so amazing. And thank you for sharing that with us. And just to piggyback off what you said, I don't know what you said earlier, but can you repeat it? It ended with what you imagine you become. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What you think you create. Okay, what you think you create. But so thoughts are energy. Our thoughts is powerful. They're creative. So, but many of our thoughts are mixed with what we don't want. They're mixed with, I don't have it, I don't have enough, I'm limited. And so if you continue to focus on that, guess what? You're creating more of it. So throughout my 50 plus years of life experience, yes.
She look good, don't she?
Oh, yes. And I'm sorry. Let me shout out to my husband. He's at home with our 7 grandchildren.
Wow.
My daughter is here from Michigan, and we're entertaining 7 grandchildren for the summer. So go figure out. We were at Stone Mountain earlier today. But at our rarest form, we are the creators of our life experience. And many times we give our power away looking outside of us, looking for things that, we think we want to experience rather than tapping into the power that's within. And that power within is a belief system. And so when you align your beliefs with your desires, then those things that you desire will manifest. Okay?
We will come right back with Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn, and you're listening to Power 108.9.
All right, so we're going to add another piece to that.
What's that?
We're going to add another piece to it. The next piece is adding a teaser to you going out. Okay, so you got now, you're listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn. When we come back, that's the teaser. When we come back, talk about what you're going to talk about next. That's
Okay.
the teaser. Okay, so when we come back, we're going to talk about the American, baseball All-Star game. Ronald Acuna is up next. We're going to talk about that, see how well he did at the All-Star game. You're listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9. So add a teaser whenever you go out.
Add a teaser.
Talk about what you're going to come back with next, okay?
Glad you told me because I ain't know. So I had to think about it.
We're going to add layers.
I got you. I'm learning.
I don't want to give you all of the breaks, but.
So just to let you know, I'm going to piggyback off what you said and bring Cordell in about the disconnect. Where does he see the disconnect in the business law as far as entrepreneurship?
Exactly.
And then
So when you
we'll
come
spread
back,
out.
When you come back, when we bring you back on, you're going to do a reset. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn. My guest, say your guest name. And we were just talking about the disconnect. And also our guest today, you know what I'm saying, then segue into that, you know what I'm saying, and then hit them with that question. All right? You good?
No.
You good?
I forgot everything you just said.
Don't worry about it. It's going to come. Watch.
When we come back,
No, we're back. We're back. Welcome back.
oh, yeah.
Welcome back. You're listening to Let's Talk
And we are here with Alina Edmondson and Cordell Rowley, and we were talking about
Yeah, we were just talking about
the
how you want
disconnect.
to set it up, but what you're doing is just recapping what y'all
Talked about,
and you can
put
throw
it on
in
him.
there
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
then let him
and it's
discuss.
roll, the E is silent.
You know I've been calling you Rowley for like 15 years.
Don't worry about it.
She's from
Roll.
Ohio.
I know.
She's from Ohio. You got 2 minutes, okay?
That's before we was on the radio.
Thank you. I got it. That piece should help me out.
It say bring them on camera. So does that mean
This is my first live anything.
Is it?
Why y'all so quiet in here? It's usually crunk in here. What you doing? Oh, it's your first show, so.
yeah, I'm learning.
I'll let you have that. You ready?
Yup.
What song you in the mood for today?
Cardi. Cardi.
You ready? You got it?
Much as I can remember. Welcome back. You are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9. We have Alina Edmondson here and Cordell. He had to correct me. Roll, y'all. And before we left, we were talking about the disconnect in entrepreneurship. So I want to piggyback off of what Alina was saying and bring Cordell into the conversation to discuss the disconnect on the business law side as far as entrepreneurship. But first, I would like for Cordell to introduce himself and tell us a little bit more about him and what he does.
All right. I'll give you a little bit of background about me. I am originally from Miami. I'm a native Miamian, born and raised there, 21 years, county of Dade and all of that. I would say for myself, it's been a really good experience. You know, God's brought me from a long way into the point that I am today. I've been an entrepreneur. I want to say legally since I was 18, but going back, you know, it's probably since the age of 10, 12, you know, it's just in your blood. And I agree that it's the way you think and how you process things, because I truly believe that, and I've always believed that the talent you sell is yourself. You know, you are the talent that you give to other people. And so when you go to a job and you work 9 to 5, you're giving yourself at a price for that job. You're contracting out to that employer, whether it's $10 an hour or whether it's $20 an hour. You're saying to that employer, this is what I'm worth, or this is what I'm willing to exchange my services for. Now, if you take that mindset, the issue then becomes, can you get more for your services if you cut out the middleman, which is your boss, you know, and go back to the customer, or, you know, some client, you know, everybody's business is different. If you work at McDonald's, you know, and they can flip a lot of burgers, can you cook your own burgers and flip them? You know, but if you are like me, prior to being a lawyer, I was doing graphics. And my first job experience is that they laid off the entire art department as soon as I got there. They hired me and fired everybody else. It was an immediate awakening that I was not safe. But they didn't fire me, so I was kind of safe. But I looked around and I was like, wow, you know, I was young. I was ignorant of the business itself. But what I knew is that there was no security. And so immediately what I understood one thing was, I need to learn how this business worked that I was in. And I did that for a couple of years after that whole knowledge came to my head, and I would look at not just the work that I was hired to do, but I looked at the work that the company was doing, and I would ask questions. And I didn't ask for the purpose of them thinking I was going to leave, because I didn't want them to think I was their competition, but I was thinking I'm going to leave. And I will be the competition. It was a pretty big company, so I wasn't trying to compete with them. But how can I do this on a lower level scale and to transition from a 9 to 5 person to being my own boss. Can I generate that amount of money? And, with the right connections over time, you build, you learn, you walk, you run, you fall, you crawl, you get back up, and you try it all over again. And God willing, you look back and say, I've come too far to turn around,
Right.
and I don't want to go back to work for anybody else. And that kind of led me, ironically, when it became, when I started to do this for a while, it led me into the legal world.
Okay.
And that was because I would talk to, my clients, which, some are lawyers, all of them are entrepreneurs in some way, because being in the graphics and marketing, we're all entrepreneurs. We're just talking about different issues because everybody had their own business. Mm-hmm. And the saying goes, if you're around 10 people that are bright, you're going to be bright too, because it lifts you up. And so in my situation, I was always around bright people. Everybody had different concepts, different ideas from them in their own mindset. And my job was to enhance their ideas. And so I took that over from the marketing and the graphic world, and I took it into the business world, because all we did was business.
So my question to you is, on the legal side of it, where do you see the biggest disconnect that entrepreneurs have?
I think understanding the business that they're in legally, because what happens is a lot of people don't understand what is a business. And the business is a contract of exchange of money for services. And so what happens is when you go, even if somebody asks to cut your grass and you say, hey, this is $20, that's a contract, something for something. My service is for, your labor. I need my grass cut. Give it, if you do it with, if you're the lawn maintenance guy and you say, you get you get your homeboy and say, hey, come and help me. Now you're creating a partnership. Mm-hmm. And the issue is, how complicated do you want this to be? In other words, if it gets too complicated, now we may need a contract. If it's simple, you say after the end of the yard, we cut, I give you 10, I keep my 10, and, we go on our separate way till we cut the next yard. But at a certain point, what happens in the disconnect world is it starts to get complicated. And when the money starts rolling in, everybody starts to argue about how much money am I owed? And they never created the contract in the beginning. And so that contract we make, again, is with everybody. Even if you give your services for free, it's an exchange. You're agreeing to do that. So I say, for me, the disconnect comes in the beginning is understanding, one, what business you're in, two, the value of your business. And one of the things I always tell my clients is negotiate what makes you sleep at night. Because you may not be the most expensive person, you may not be the cheapest person, but you need to negotiate a price, a value of yourself to allow you to sleep at night, so you're not worrying about whether you shorted yourself.
And to piggyback off what you said, when you talk about contractual things, so I believe that there is a huge disconnect with people creating contracts and contractual relationships. I see a lot of people doing business and they're just doing business, but again, that there is no contract in place. And so when all hell breaks loose, people don't know what to do. They have no recourse. It's hearsay. And so I honestly believe that people just having their contracts in order is a big challenge. And I know sometimes it can be expensive, especially, or not that expensive. I mean, it can run anywhere from what?
Well, I charge, I don't mind telling this because I think you need to know. I think an informed consumer is a good consumer. I charge $2.50 an hour for my services, which are reasonable, but a lot of people don't know you can negotiate even your rates with attorneys. Mm-hmm. They have their rate because they create their own value. But you can say, I don't think you're that valuable. And then you can negotiate, or you can say, listen, I know your rate is $500 an hour, but how about if I give you a flat fee of this? And then they know what you're asking them to do, and then they know what they need to do, and maybe you can come to a compromise. And so attorneys get paid three ways: flat fee, hourly, and contingency. So you have negotiating room in that. But we'll talk about the creation of contracts in a minute.
Okay, and you are sorry, y'all. You are listening to Christeria Lynn with Let's Talk on Power 108.9, and when we come back, we are going to dive deep into entrepreneurship development and what does it mean to make a better you. Hey, I don't know.
That sound good?
Look, I'm saying I got all these words on this paper like.
But it's fine. You did a good job. Take you about.
What does it mean to make it better you? That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
What it mean to make a better you?
Yeah, yeah.
At least sound like I know what I'm doing, right?
No.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think. That's why I'm looking at you. No, it's not. It's not a single vending machine. I eat like anything. There's like restaurants on the side and stuff. Yeah, but they expensive. You have to pay like a ballpark price for food.
Prices are so arbitrary. It's like,
Okay, big baller.
I believe in informing people because legally we have to tell our prices anyway. So you call somebody up and they be like $900 an hour. It's an estimate, so we have to disclose it to the public anyway. So you can always get an attorney's price. That's why I also do personal injury, and everybody charges the same, the 33 and the 3%. So you're not going to be surprised. But you can negotiate that. A lot of people don't know. How about 30%? How about 25? My case is a good case. And if the money start looking right,
Yeah, I'll take 25.
because what are they going to do? Especially if you have a really good case, they're going to tell you no and let that money walk out the door. They know we know what it costs to produce a case, even if it's pushed. So when it's pushed, we know the risk, and they'll cut it off early if the risk is too high. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or they won't even take it.
Right.
You've been doing it for so long.
She hungry. I heard her stomach.
Like when it starts to get 50-50, even if it's a good case, you're gonna be like, listen, I'm not gonna spend $40,000 for a $40,000 case.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
one of those waters. I don't know about the Chinese water.
Okay, cool then. Thanks.
But I like informing people because you can always negotiate with somebody else.
You did.
On the phone now. Let's see if you.
Oh, you was there? No, I didn't call mine.
You ready?
I am ready. Tell me when you're ready. Hey. Welcome back. You are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9. We are here with the wonderful Alina Edmondson and Cordell Rowe, y'all. And we are going to dive right into entrepreneurship and how to become an entrepreneur, how to become a better entrepreneur, and what is the driving force behind entrepreneur. So I want to share some of my story, and I'm pretty sure that most of you all know, but my journey started when I was in an abusive marriage, and I was left in the suburbs of Cincinnati with no job, no transportation, no money, and no vehicle. Like my ex-husband left me with nothing. So from there, I had started cleaning homes, and so with that business, I literally turned that business into an award-winning six-figure cleaning business within a matter of a couple of years. And so I grew a platform. But in doing that business, I also realized that I really had a passion and a purpose to help other single mothers, because all the things that I have gone through, and there was really no resources and there was really no help for me. And so I told myself, when I got into the position, that I wanted to be the change that I've always desired to see. And so I wanted to be the person that fills in a gap to help other single mothers. And so that is one of the reasons why I'm here today. But the other driving force behind me becoming an entrepreneur is because I really just have a heart to help people succeed, not just professionally, but personally as well. And I know you and I was talking about this as well earlier on the phone. And one of the things that I want to add is that when you're an entrepreneur, I think that you should take the approach of the personal and the professional development, because it's one thing. How do they say it? It's hard. It's hard. It sucks when you're a private. You know what I'm talking about? It's a saying. It's on the tip of my tongue. Like it sucks to be. It sucks to be a public success, but a private failure. And so what I realized is that a lot of people were doing well professionally, but they were not doing too well personally. And I just believe that both of those, they should kind of match in a sense. Not saying that they always do, but I do believe that you should have both of them in order, or at least trying to get them in order so you can excel in life. So what is your take on that, Elena?
Absolutely. I like to call it life-work balance. And as I intentionally flip the words, because in the business world, it's work-life balance. And that simply means, they really take over your life. With all of these mobile devices, you have access to your work device now, and, you really don't have time for yourself. But life-work balance is, if your life is in balance, then that's, and with regard to balance, what I mean by that, it's like a wheel. Let's just look at a wheel. And it's 8 areas to your life. There's your physical, your body, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, your relational, your relationships, the way where you live. So if any of those areas is out of balance, think about a tire. It's deflated. How far will you really go in life, right? So when you focus on your life first over a job or over your work, then you are able to bring all of who you are, even in that business, not just focusing on business alone, but focus on every area of your life. So it's very important to be in balance.
And I think I learned the hard way, because I had it wrong so long. Like I was just business, and I just had no balance.
But you learned a life lesson from that.
I did.
Right?
I did.
So in many of our life experiences, we make choices. Life is full of choices.
It is.
And I've gotten to a place in my life where I don't like to call it wrong or bad. It was an experience. And if I gained anything from that experience, then it helped me to get, to go to another area of my life. So we don't really make we may make bad choices, but it's not to our detriment. And so with regard to business development, what I like to share with our listening audiences is that a business meets a need, right? So I asked the question, what keeps you up at night? So if it's keeping you up at night, then there's a problem, right? And so a business is a solution to that problem. What we're sitting in is a solution to being able to
right.
stand, right? So every business is a problem solver. And if you're in it to meet the need of those that we are serving, then that's what really will catapult your business. And it's understanding the concept. Why are you in business? Why do you want to go in business? If it's just money, then you're chasing money,
Right. Instead of monetizing passion and purpose.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people experience different things. But what was your driving force as far as, again, I stated earlier that I was, in one of your first entrepreneurship classes, and you've trained thousands of entrepreneurs. But what was your driving force of becoming an entrepreneur and just wanting to train those entrepreneurs?
The first question was, I was working at a major airline in Detroit in the reservation sales department. And I was working third shift. And I walked in one day. It's like, what? Who said I had to do this? And why am I doing this? And then I shared earlier that I'm married to an entrepreneur. Back in the 20s, we've been married over 33 years. And
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And my husband was the one that really catapulted me into entrepreneurship because he was a director of operations for one of the major chicken places. I can say it, KFC, right? And he was terminated. We know why he was terminated? Because he had a heart attack at the age of 30. He was serving KFC, over 30 restaurants, right? And after 18 months of unemployment, that's when my shift began to see what he was going through. And at the end of the 18 months, he became the nation's first African-American to own and operate a Denny's franchise. But it didn't unfold as easily as I'm speaking. We all went through it because my husband was the breadwinner, right? And when he lost his job, I was working night and day for 16 hours for almost 6 months until I said, stop, wait, hold on. This is not my assignment. I didn't sign up for this. And then I made a promise to God, if he would just show me the way to help not just my husband, but our family to get back on our feet, that I would forever serve him. And after 6 months of the working night and day, my husband has got a letter. No, he was studying. He saw a Black Enterprise magazine, and it said they were looking for African Americans to come in for a fast track agreement. Fast forward of that, he was the first to graduate from that, and they told him afterwards he would be qualified to own a Denny's, but they didn't tell him he had to get his own financing. And so now this is where I'm talking about the life and the work. Now imagine being unemployed for 18 months. Imagine what your integrity report was saying. We call it a credit report. And now this major company or corporation is saying, I'm going to sell you $1 million restaurant. However, you've got to have the financing. He didn't have the integrity or he didn't have the credit, but he had a belief system that he knew that this was for him. And so he never faltered. He knocked on many doors. So many entrepreneurs, you got to fake it till you make it. You got to, or believe in yourself.
Yes.
Because the doors that he knocked on, they said, no, you don't qualify for, $1 million worth of collateral. You don't have the collateral to back this. But he didn't stop there, and he continued. So there was a gentleman that came in the restaurant, fast forwarding, and the restaurant was very busy, and then my husband had a picture over the restaurant, and no, it was a saying over the register that said, "To God be the glory." And so this gentleman said, "Oh my God, I love that signage." And is this your restaurant? He says, "Well, yes. I'm in the process of purchasing a restaurant." Well, this guy, the gentleman that came in the restaurant, was over Capital. It was a Finova Capital, specializing in restaurant financing.
Wow, look at God.
So overnight, yes, the guy Jerome called. I was really busy. How would you like to finance the first African American owner-operated Denny's? But I have a story to tell you.
Go ahead.
And then he told the story of his unemployment, and he didn't have the resources. And then, this was, again, over 20 years ago, the guy said, fax me over. I'm going to fax you over an application. But if he didn't have that belief, that gentleman wouldn't have showed up. So that's why I'm here now as a life coach and business trainer to say, if you have a strong belief, that belief will become your reality, because it's a culmination of your thoughts and your feelings and God. If we could just rest in that, things will start to unfold on your behalf.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. When we come back on Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9, we are going to continue this conversation with Alina and Cordell, talking about the driving force behind entrepreneurship.
Go, girl.
No, he got me over here. We like, what did she just say? That's how I have it written down. What I'm supposed to say? Because I'm saying on too many times.
T's first. When we come back,
we're going to talk this, and this. You're listening to on Power 108.9. When we come back, we're going to talk about this, and this on Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9. Look, hey, it is what it is.
Talk to your people on social media.
You said they couldn't hear me.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Y'all, he got me sitting here confused. One minute he say,
On your phone, they can,
but he said when he turned the volume down.
but they can still hear you.
They can hear everything that's coming through the mic. They can hear you.
Okay, y'all, how y'all doing today? Sorry, Mike got me in here all. Mike got me in here all messed up, contradicting his stories. 1 minute y'all can hear me, 1 minute y'all can't. But no, we having an awesome time. Make sure y'all like and share, huh? Make sure y'all like and share, please.
You open the feedback?
Like and share this video. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure that you drop them below. I want to say thank you to Cleo from Protex. Hold on, y'all. From Protex Computer for sponsoring this show. If you have a broken iPhone, a broken tablet, a broken laptop, if you need security service, go and see Cleo Allen. I posted him up in
Call me now.
hold on, y'all. Bad. Go see Cleo. I don't have his number. I gotta post this link for y'all.
Right. Everybody got the broke phone jump. Oh, you talking about in the picture? You ready, sis?
Yeah,
Last break.
this last break.
Segment. Yep. You did an awesome job. You were doing an awesome job. You ready?
Yeah.
Love y'all.
Heavy.
Nah, I don't think you're in there. I don't see you in there. Nah, you in there. Nah, you in there. Nah, you in there. Go.
Move over, Reg.
Yeah, move that
Move
way.
over, Reg. No, to get you out, Reg. They can't see you, bro. The lighting's not good. You good?
Oh yeah,
Cause you dark skinned. You good?
stand right here behind
Yeah.
that light right
You
there.
dark
You
skinned.
good.
You good? You ready, sis?
I'm ready.
We all in there.
Christeria, you ready?
I'm born ready.
Let's go.
Tell me when to talk. It won't come in my comment section. Welcome back. You are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9. And we are sitting here with the wonderful Alina and Cordell. And we are going to finish our conversation about the driving force behind entrepreneurship and how to become a better entrepreneur. So right before the break, we were talking about Alina and her husband's awesome journey to entrepreneurship and how her husband was the first Black owner of a Denny's restaurant, and how their trials and tribulations really drove her into entrepreneurship and her passion and her purpose. She has coached thousands of people, and I want to just finish this conversation and include Cordell as well as we talk about the driving force. When you got into entrepreneurship, my question is for both of you all, did you see it as something to do, or did you see it as your passion or your purpose, or did it shift as the years and the months went on?
It definitely shifted, and I was kind of pushed into entrepreneurship when my husband became the owner of Denny's franchise. I was the president of the corporation. I was a trainer, and so I was used to showing up and training and in my heels until the cook didn't show up one night, and we had to get some flats and go in the kitchen and cook. So it was just really entrepreneurship. I was like I said, I was kind of pushed in it, but then it became a passion to see how I can serve people and how I can help them grow. Because in the back of our restaurant, how we started the Entrepreneur Development Network, it actually started as the Christian Business Network. We were just showing people in the back of our restaurant how to start businesses. And then Small Business Administration, we met with them, and we became one of the top trainers using the Small Business Development Center's curriculum until we created our own curriculum to help entrepreneurs really learn the business model and put their business plan together.
Okay. And what about you, Cordell?
Yeah, for me, it was more of a passion because I hate working for anybody else. I don't like people telling me what to do. And I learned one thing very early in that story I gave you is you can't fire yourself. So it's only you. Well, I guess you can fire yourself, but nobody else can fire you when you're the boss. So my goal has always been, freedom. And, I love that freedom. I love to be able to go after it. I would rather be the king on my island than a prince in a, big country. So that's been my spirit. Now, I've been fortunate enough to do things that I love. So, and find out how to make money from the things that I love. So that also helps too. I've never been the type of person that I wanted to be quote unquote rich. So that selling me a rich dream never drove me, but selling me freedom, that's driving.
Well, I want to be wealthy, so I don't know about you, but
yeah, I mean, it's a difference because I didn't want to necessarily chase money because you do a lot of things when you chase money.
oh yeah,
But
definitely.
if you chase dreams and visions, you have a different purpose. So,
Exactly.
you give me market value for what I believe that my talents are worth. That market value could be worth $1 or $1 million. And I'll take the money. Don't get me wrong, because I don't want to work for free. I'll volunteer when necessary. But if it's the passion you get up for, if helping people, which is what I do for a living, and what all entrepreneurs do, you're always helping people.
Mm-hmm.
You're providing a service for somebody. If that's what you do, and if the market bears a value for you, it wakes you up. And the key thing is to be able to do it where you can constantly do it smoothly and hopefully get paid for it, and then make it consistent.
So, as entrepreneurs, I want to ask the question: what are some your biggest fears and challenges that you have, and how did you survive them or overcome them?
Well, the biggest challenge is, knowing how to launch, knowing what to do. And that's where I meet a lot of my participants. I know I want to start a business. I don't know where do I get started, and the number one thing is identifying who your target market is, because everybody's not your customer.
Exactly.
Understanding why you're in business, what is your concept, what your target market is, how are you going to manage that? Because the number one thing that but causes businesses to fail is the operations section.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurs love to do what they do, but with regard to putting a system around it, a process around it, as standard operating procedures around it, I don't have time for that. Well, there's a difference between the two gentlemen that started the McDonald's. Why is it someone can walk off the street and cook the same burger here, Japan, or anywhere? Because they have a process, they have a system. So helping people put systems in places so that you don't necessarily have to be there. The number one question we often ask entrepreneurs, if something were to happen to you, or if you just wanted to leave for 6 months, can your business still run? Well, without a process, it can't.
Exactly. And I tell people that all the time. The three biggest things for me is people, processes, and systems.
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of entrepreneurs lack in.
Absolutely.
I'm just show you something on my little to-do list, and you see what that third thing is process. that second, I say third, but it's really the second thing. It's process. So we're all on the same page of that, and I didn't type anything while you guys were saying because I think it's important. My thing is, when you talk about fear, I really didn't have fear. My only fear was living with the regret of what if. What if I could have did that? What if I could have made it? And so that was my only fear, and I never wanted to live like that. So I would rather have tried and failed than to say, man, I wish I could have been that thing or the other. But the three things, if I wanted to leave with somebody, would be one, is creation. You create your business. Understand how to create a business. Two is, you said it, the process. So you don't even have to, you explained it very well. And then third thing, as a lawyer, is the protection of it. You build your kingdom, you got to protect your kingdom, because at the end of the day, somebody's coming forward, whether it's another individual taking your idea, taking your money, or the government. The government will take it. And so you have to, once you create your kingdom, you build it with your process, and then you protect it. Those three things are crucial in the early stages.
Absolutely. And one way you protect it, I know that you work with, is how do you legally structure your business?
Right.
You know, a lot of times people go in as sole proprietors, but do you know what that means?
Right.
You know, you're wide open for any, you know, litigation. If someone were to sue you, they could come after your personal finances, your personal home. So your legal structures will protect, or your trademarks. And especially now that we are in a world without walls,
Right.
we're in the, you know, World Wide Web. Everybody's seeing who you are now. You know, what would cause them not necessarily just duplicate you, but, you know, infringe on your trademark. If you don't have it protected, then they can run with it, you know. So
Right.
that's very important to have it legally structured properly.
And that's one. My spiritual mentor has always taught me, keep my mouth shut until the manifestation happens. You know,
And then protect it.
right. Well, the protection part is in the process, and then you're gonna learn
Yes.
about it after it's already done.
Yes.
You know, so that is. And then I want to piggyback off that process, and I think people should really understand how important processes are, because somebody will come in and buy you out because of the processes that you have in place, not
Absolutely.
necessarily because of the name of your business.
Absolutely.
And so I think when we're talking about processes and system, they are the meat and a bone, along with the operations part of it, as far as entrepreneurship is concerned. And I know it's kind of hard, because as entrepreneurs, we wear all these hats. And I know from my personal experience, like, I wasn't the type of person who liked to delegate, because I'm like, oh, they can't do it the way that I do it. But in hindsight, that hindered me from doing a lot of things that I could have done because of my mindset. When we come back, we are going to wrap it up. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my piece of paper. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to finish talking about entrepreneurship. And you are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9.
Finally!
Hey, I'm doing something. I had to get my piece of paper.
All right, so when you come back, this is do a brief recap of what you talked about. Ask you guys how you can follow them, and then your last words, and then preview your next show, and then you out.
This is an hour.
You said a brief recap, how you can follow the guests.
Yeah, ask your guests how can we keep in
Contact.
with them. Yep.
And what else?
Preview next week.
I'll come back to the 20. We got to talk about that 22nd.
Yeah, we'll preview your next show.
I don't know what it's going to be about yet. It's going to be juicy, though. Sharice probably think I'm crazy. Hey, y'all, say what's up to Sharice, the one and only Sharice. I love Sharice to life. She is always representing. She has an awesome coach. She's an awesome coach. Just awesome people in the house.
Are you ready?
Nope. I got to get ready.
Just do it.
I know, right? So I'm going to go.
It's gonna take the whole time.
Welcome back. You are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9, and we are wrapping up our show with the wonderful Alina Edmondson and Cordell Rowe, y'all. And today we talked about entrepreneurship and what it looks like to be an entrepreneur, how to start a business, maintain a business, and to protect that business as well. So I want my guests to tell you how you can follow them and get in contact with them if need be.
Okay, my name is Alina Edmondson. You can follow me, Alina Edmondson, on Facebook. Also, my website is www.ednglobal.com. That stands for Entrepreneur Development Network, global.com. And you can I can help you understand the process of entrepreneurship. That's the title of our curriculum, the process of entrepreneurship, and how to really go through that process and put together a comprehensive business plan, launch, run, and grow your business model. Also, AlinaEdmondson.com is another website you can reach out to me on.
Okay, Cordell, can you please tell everyone how they can get in contact with you?
The easiest way to get in contact with me is probably social media. the Cordell firm. I'm sorry, I was going to say the Cordell firm. Yeah, the Cordell firm is
Yeah,
the
that's
name of my firm. And the URLs for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook is Cordell, Cordele, firm, FIRM. So those are the usernames for all of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I am usually on one of them.
I want to thank everyone for joining in. Please don't forget to come back and join me on July 22nd at 8 p.m. I'm going to have some juicy stuff for you here on Power 108.9. Don't forget to follow the show. Don't forget to like and share the page. Don't forget to go to Christeria Lynn. All of my social media is Christeria Lynn. You can follow me there because Sharice helped me brand myself. And don't forget to purchase the book From Desperation to Destiny. All right, y'all. See y'all next time. Look, he always talk about the book. I know, I always forget I wrote it. So I ain't do too bad. All right, y'all, I'm out.
She's done. She's done.
Eddie gonna have to hook a sister up. Okay, now how do I save this, Sharice? So remember, cause last time I deleted. I don't want to delete it this time.